Hey guys, it's Kevin again, back here with the Auburn Wanderer once again to do our second review of 3 we're going to be doing, and this one is for a film that I was definitely very excited for. It was definitely one of the last essential watches for 2018 overall, and that is Barry Jenkins' highly anticipated next film, If Beale Street Could Talk. And what If Beale Street Could Talk is essentially about is we center on this couple. You have Tish and you also have Fonny, and these are two people who have known each other basically since childhood. They've always had this trust and respect in each other, and they just have a really sweet relationship, but unfortunately, that is upended when Fonny is accused of a crime that he clearly did not commit at all. Or subsequently, this happens to be going on when Tish finds out that she's actually pregnant with Fonny's child. So the rest of the film is her trying to prepare for this arrival, but also try to do what she can to try to clear his name, and that's really all I'm going to say. So, for me, I was obviously hyped for this film. This was definitely one of my most anticipated for the rest of the year, for sure. I mean, Moonlight was easily one of my favorites of the year. I know, for you, you don't hold that film to as high of a standard as I do.
No, I think it's a really good film, but I don't think it's the like best picture war review film. But
yeah,
you know, I certainly like it. But you know, I was still excited for this film just because I thought that Moonlight had one of the best screenplays of the decade. So I was excited to see what Barry Jenkins would do with this.
Yeah. And of course, Moonlight did spawn the best beef of all time between us.
That I won.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's a great beef because we got to see both ways. If you actually won and I won.
Yeah, I mean,
it's too bad that mine was actually the outcome.
Hey, I love Moonlight, but you know, that's a whole different story. Either way, like I said, very excited for this film. Absolutely adored Moonlight. I think it's one of the best coming-of-age films of the decade, for sure. And asking any film to follow up something like Moonlight, you know, that was so critically acclaimed and also won Best Picture, obviously it's already a challenge. And look, Beale Street Could Talk, I don't think it tops Moonlight, but it comes pretty damn close. I really adored this film. I think this is such a powerful and such a heartbreaking film overall, but also has this really nice romance to it, and I just really loved it overall. But before I do get more into it, what do you want to say about what you thought of If Beale Street Could Talk?
I loved this film. It is easily one of the best films that I've seen all year.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that it was an extremely powerful and emotional film, and I went into this film basically blind. I didn't see any trailers. All I really saw was the posters. I didn't know what the film was about, and when the film kept going on, I was just shocked at just how, like, complex this film ended up being. It's a heavy film.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I in a way could argue that this film is even heavier than Moonlight. Which honestly I kind of think it is the subject matter here.
Well, yeah.
You know, because this film, because you know, well, you know, Moonlight deals with, you know, like kind of like, you know, discrimination against, you know, like, you know, the LGBTQ community, says with, you know, gay people and stuff, and it kind of deals with, like, you know, the racism aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
This one goes even further to the racism aspect. It's like the main thing that's touched on.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, you know, it was just, you know, we'll get into more of that later, but, like, this one was just very heavy and just very emotionally stirring. And there's just so much, you know, just great, like, production here and acting and the writing. Oh my god, Barry Jenkins is actually one of the best screenwriters working today.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, there's just so much great about this film, but let's get into more detail about
the acting. Pretty much everyone here is just at the top of their game. I really don't think there is a single dud in the bunch. For me, though, the two performances that really do hold it together are actually the two main characters, specifically Kiki Lane here, who this is a huge breakout performance for her, and similar to Trevante Rhodes in Moonlight, I think we're really witnessing a star being born here. I think we're definitely going to be seeing her a lot more. Every single scene she really nails. There's so many emotional beats that this character has to go through, and Layne really does rise to the occasion here. There are a lot of effective scenes with her. You can tell how much she is in love with Fonny, but also how determined she is to get him out of this situation, and also how disgusted she is by what's really going on. I really thought she had some incredible work in this film. I think she gives one of the best performances that I've personally seen all year, and I wish she'd be getting more attention, because I really do think she's going to be something great, something big after this, and I really love what she did here.
I thought that she was terrific. She has the most to work with in this film.
Yeah.
And she uses to her full, advantage. And,
Oh yeah, she anchors the whole film.
Yeah,
definitely.
and she has so much potential to be even better than this, which is scary.
Yeah.
To look at for competition in the upcoming award seasons and stuff. If she's going to do more work like this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like, she has some scenes in this film that are just like very emotional and very hard to film. They sometimes get physical too, and she just nails it.
Yeah.
She's heartbreaking to watch, but she's also very inspiring to watch in a way, as well. Later on in the film, and I was just very, very impressed by her work in here, and she's definitely gives one of the best female performances of the year.
And equally as good as her for me is Stephan James, who plays the character of Fawny. Once again, this is a newcomer. This is not someone who has done a lot of previous work before. He is on that Julia Roberts show Homecoming, but aside from that, he hasn't really done anything that big. And honestly, you wouldn't really be able to notice because he just brings so much charisma and so much presence to a very heavy film. And the fact that these two, again, newcomers, are able to anchor the film in such a way, I just think is incredible. I loved what he was able to do here. You see the love that he really does have for Tish, how protective he is of her, but also how he does let her be independent sometimes. And I really did love seeing that. The relationship between these two, it's just so sweet and endearing. You really can understand why these two have that connection, and they just do such an incredible job. Some of the best moments of this entire film, I think, are just watching these two interact, just the longing gazes that the two of them give each other. I mean, it's enough to that's a symbol of great acting right there. When you can just give a look, it really does exemplify how great of actors they really are here, and I was very impressed by the both of them.
I thought that he was even better, actually. I think that he was just so well casted because because the character of Fawny is a very charismatic person, but also a very I don't want to say troubled because I feel like that's disrespectful to the character. No. But just kind of like he's been through stuff before. Yeah, definitely. And you can tell that. And
he's frustrated. He's frustrated.
Yeah, and Stephan just Stephan, he just nails it. And there's just he has so many different scenes and different tones and emotions he has to go for, and he nails them. Yeah. I was very impressed. It's a very versatile performance. And he's. He nails it, and there's one scene especially that he kind of just has a breakdown. I'm not gonna spoil the context, obviously, but it's one of the most powerful scenes of the year.
Absolutely,
and it was heartbreaking. And it almost made me cry. And he also his last not the last scene that he's majorly featured in, but the scene before, I think you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that should be his Oscar scene.
Oh yeah,
that should be his Oscar scene because that was one of the best scenes I've seen all year.
Yeah, definitely. He's not. Unfortunately, I don't think he's in the conversation, sadly, but he definitely should be. Both of them should be.
He should be. He won't win, but he definitely should be nominated. Yeah. I thought he was just terrific. One of the best to do.
Now, who is in the conversation is Regina King, who absolutely deserves it. I'll just say it right now. At first, I thought that she was a little underused. I was like, all right, I get why, because it's Regina King, because honestly, you could give Regina King the most bland material possible, and she'll elevate to a degree that makes it worth noting and makes it amazing, because she's such a dynamic actress. I mean, there's so many great performances that she's given, but then there comes a certain point in this film where she has a lot more to do, and I can really see why she's being considered, because she is just fantastic in this film. She really is the person that's just trying to hold everything together. She's trying to, get to the bottom of things. She's trying to make Tish happy. She's just trying to really do everything that she possibly can. But there are multiple scenes in this film that I think, honestly, it could be in that, when they play the Oscar clip, I think there are multiple scenes in this film with her that could do that. But there is one in particular involving this confrontation that she has with a certain individual, and just the way that scene plays out, the desperation that she has, but also you can see the empathy that she really has for this character. I just thought was so effective, and I loved what she was able to do here. She continues to show why she's one of the most, I think, dynamic actors working today, and I just loved everything about her here. I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah, no, I thought that her performance was just very, very real.
Yeah.
And I actually thought, like, it was, like, a real person.
Yeah, no.
She's just very, like, honest in the role, and she really, really captures out that spirit of just, like, a mother trying to keep a family together.
Yeah, definitely.
And hardships, and she just nails that hard work you gotta put in to do that, and it just... Sometimes it doesn't work out, and I think that she nails that. To transition now into the screenplay, I do think a lot of it. I think the best part of this film is the screenplay. And you know, I think with the acting, while it is fantastic, a lot of it comes from this amazing screenplay. And I have said this before. I think Barry Jenkins is a better screenwriter than a director. And it shows here, like in Moonlight.
I think honestly he's equally good in both departments.
I think it's great. I think it's a fantastic director.
Yeah.
I think he is an even better screenwriter. Like I think he's like one of like the top 3 best working today.
Oh, absolutely.
And like he knows how to write characters. Like seriously, like in Moonlight, but especially in this, like the characters. They just, the way that they, like, come together, and the way that they're written and just developed, it is just so well done and so compelling, and you just get attached to the character so well. And, oh my god, what was the character that, Fonny, his friend?
Oh, Brian Tyree Henry. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say that. Not to interrupt you.
Yeah, but he was great.
Even some of the smaller performances here, like Brian Tyree Henry or Dave Franco, or characters like that, characters that don't have as much to do, they all really do leave an impact on you. They all have something worth noting, and I think they did a really great job with that. Especially when you have actors that don't have as much to do. The fact that they're still able to leave as much of an impact as they do, again, is just a testament to not only their acting, but again, how great that screenplay really is. I mean, from a character perspective, this film is much more complex in terms of characters. The characters in Moonlight, sure, there were complexities to them, but the real complex characters were like Chiron, Mahershala Ali, and his mom. That was kind of it. The other characters were there, and they definitely had their complexities, but not on not on the level of this film. They're dealing with a lot more complex situations, and just his attention to detail overall is just spectacular here. I mean, the way he's able to get character out of Tish through something as simple as her talking about the different ways people smell perfume and the different ways people go about that. Something so simplistic like that. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you really factor in the situation they're going through, it makes a lot of sense. And certain scenes like that, I just thought were so effective, and I loved what he was able to do. And the thing that I loved most about this film is that it really is a character drama. The racial issues are there, and they are important, but it really is a character drama first, and, you know, a film about racial issues second. Mainly because he gets you so attached to this family. I mean, the moment they're introduced, you just fall in love with basically every single member of this family. You understand what they're going through. You want to see them support Tish. You know, you really want them to be happy. And I really loved the way he set all that up, and I just thought from a character perspective, these are definitely much more complex individuals, and I really love that overall.
Yeah, you know, like you said, like the characters are so much more complex in this film.
Yeah.
And you know, I think, and something I loved about the screenplay was that all the major characters, they got like their own like scenes and sequences, and like you really like understand where everyone's coming from.
Yeah.
It's so, like you know, I think most films I see that have all these secondary characters,
they're just simply that.
Yeah, but these, like, like, Barry Jenkins, he really goes into it. And it doesn't feel, like, out of place ever when, like, they're focusing on characters that aren't as important. It's still integrated to the plot, and that's really hard to do, and he does it well.
Yeah, a good example is her sister, for example, Ernestine. I thought at first she was going to be kind of one note and just kind of push into the background, but then she has this one scene with her where she's kind of rationalizing the whole situation, and I was like, yeah, that's a really good way to look at it. That's
a restaurant scene?
Yeah, that's a great way to get a character out of her while not giving her too much to do, and I think they did a really great job with that, like giving these guys characters moments, but not having them overcrowd the film. And when there's so many characters like that, that can be really hard to do, and they really do pull it off here.
Yeah, you know, I just think all the secondary characters were great in this film.
Yeah.
And to touch on what you talked about, the social commentary in this film, I think it's more powerful than Moonlight.
Yeah, definitely.
And especially the last, like 30 minutes of this film.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like, without spoiling anything, the last 30 minutes, there is some stuff in here that is similar to Black Klansman, where they show a certain situation that's happening, and they kind of relate it to real life. However, the difference is that this is all a fictional story. It is sadly very true, though. Like, this stuff did very much happen back then.
It still happens.
It still does happen today.
Yeah, the point of the film is that it still happens.
Yeah, it still is very timely.
I get your point, but like the thing that I thought was so powerful about it is that it takes place. What's it take place in the 70s?
The 60s.
60s. Yeah, and I thought it took place in 1971 or whatever.
Around there. I don't know.
Something like that.
Late 60s, early 70s.
But the racial issues in some of the way that it's expressed and stuff is just so terrifying, and it's just so heartbreaking, and the way that the film concludes was extremely powerful.
It really gave you that gut punch.
Yeah, and I haven't seen BlacKkKlansman. Everyone knows why the film was so popular just because of the ending. Obviously Spike Lee and stuff, but like the ending was like very, very controversial. And this kind of reminds me of that in a way because I know what the scene is and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
It just was, just so powerful in the way that it was told. It was so brutally honest, and it wasn't like very like it wasn't preachy. You just like you got the message, and it was just so just like perfect in a way with the film because it was the right time to tell this message get the word out even more about social and racial injustice.
Yeah, because that is definitely still happening today. It is very timely, and they do a good job with that. In many ways, this film at points does kind of feel like a 60s, 70s version of To Kill a Mockingbird. It definitely does have a very similar premise to that. And I just want to say, like, the racial issues are great. The whole mystery that Fonny's involved in is actually really well done because you know for sure that, he's probably not capable of doing so, but at the same time, there aren't really a lot of suspects and things like that. And the whole way they set that up, it is actually very riveting where they end up going with it. I mean, it goes to some really crazy places, the lengths that these people go to. It's just insane, and I thought the mystery itself, as great as the main story was, the mystery also, I think, really just keeps you invested in the film, and I just thought they did a really great job with that overall.
Yeah, I thought that the story was so well done.
Yeah.
I think I like the story more than Moonlight. I like this movie more than Moonlight, but I think this has a better story than Moonlight. It's more compelling, it's more textured, and it's just...
It's definitely much more complex.
Yeah, it is, and, like Kevin was alluding to, there's, like, some very, very heavy stuff in this film, but, it works with the story.
Yeah.
And the story flows very well. Even though we're talking about the screenplay, but Barry Jenkins directing, to kind of go into that now more a little bit. The way that he paces the story,
it's so
it's so well done. It's tough to also direct this film because something that we haven't even touched upon the screenplay that I didn't even know about. I haven't heard anyone talk about this, but this film is non-linear. It's not linear.
Yeah.
Like this film, I didn't know that, but I think that was a great choice because it makes you really care about everything that's happening, and you kind of get to know the characters and their struggles they're going through even better. And the way that Barry Jenkins had to write that and then to direct it and make it feel natural and make sure the pace is up and you're still engaged, and you care about these characters, it was just so challenging, and he makes it look effortless.
Yeah, he does an incredible job with that. The structure of the story, again, for some people it might be jarring, but I thought it really did work for the type of story he was trying to tell.
Yes.
It made sense why he chose to go in that direction. And the narration as well was also really great. It never got too overbearing or anything.
You know what I'll say about the nonlinear aspects of the film, I was really pleasantly surprised by, because I feel like if it went in chronological order, honestly, I don't think I would have liked this film as much, because I think that it would kind of just, like, it would still be interesting. I love the characters, but it wouldn't feel as integral.
Yeah,
like, it just kind of feel a little bit too, like, not modern, but like kind of like you've already seen this before.
Yeah, definitely.
And while
it makes the film feel fresh and inventive.
And while we have seen films that deal with a subject matter of like a couple, like they kind of have to like get taken apart because of legal issues and whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to label it as. The way that it tells it here is very creative by using nonlinear stuff. I mean, everyone really kind of uses nonlinear now because like Tarantino and other directors using it, but the way Jenkins uses it is different. It's different, and I like that.
Yeah, also, I have to say, going to also something else this film does incredibly well is the cinematography.
Oh my God,
is at the top of its game here. I don't know who the cinematographer is here, but it is some of the best I have seen all year. Mm-hmm. It's so personal. It really gets you into these characters. There's a fantastic scene where Fonny is laying out, like, the plans for, like, this house and things like that, and it lingers on, like, where he wants everything to go, and it makes you feel like you're a part of the action. It makes you feel like you're just right there with this couple. You can see the love they have for each other. The camera movement itself is really integral to the characters, and that's when you know you have just such a fantastic cinematographer on display. There's so many beautiful shots in this film. The opening sequence in general is just gorgeous to look at. I just loved everything about the cinematography here.
Yeah, and like, you know, Kevin already kind of touched on like how the cinematography is, but something else that was so great and talking about how beautiful it was, the color correction here. Oh yeah, it was great. You know, like I know some people are like, color correction inside the part. No, it's important to films, and the way that it's done here, the film that has a lot of goddamn colors. And like filters and stuff, it just looks so great. And we saw this on like a huge screen too.
Yeah.
So it was really, really well done.
Yeah, the colors really do pop.
Yeah, and you know, I do think this is a film worth seeing if you're just for the cinematography and stuff.
Yeah. Also, the score in this film.
Oh my god!
I have to say, I've seen a lot of great scores this year, but this might just be my favorite score of the year because not only is it a score that is so beautiful and evokes that sense of just tenderness that they want, but it really tells its own story. Like it's one of those, you can listen to it on its own and you get everything that they're trying to do. You get that sense of warmth, you get the sense of the love the couple has for each other, and it's fantastic. I loved everything about the score. It perfectly goes in, you know, into what the movie's trying to do, and I think it's easily the best score of the year. I don't know if it's in the conversation for, you know, best score, but it absolutely should be, because for me, it's easily the best score I've heard this year.
Yeah, I think it's up there. It's not my favorite score of the year. The favorite has my favorite score of the year.
That's definitely up there.
Yeah, but it was beautiful. Like, it was just so gorgeous, and it was just so emotional, just so heavy. It was just great. And another thing that was great about this film, also, that I was talking to Kevin about, was the editing. This is extremely well edited. Like, the pacing is great. There are, like, some, like, cuts here and there. There's some kind of, like cross-dissolving effects. Oh my god. One of the transitions was, he had, like, Fonny's, like, face as, like, the center, and then, like, transition on, like, to Beale Street, and, like, his face was, like, fading, and then you see Tish, like, walking on the side. That was so good. The editing of this film was very, very impressive.
There's some really great editing there. Going to editing, though, you know, again, we have a lot to love about this film. There are just a couple things that keep this film from being the masterpiece that Moonlight was, for me at least. So I'm just going to say my few little flaws with it. There's really not too many here, because, again, there's a lot to really love about this film. You got amazing leads. You have such a great story. But there are just a couple things that keep me from saying this is just as good as Moonlight. One thing is, as much as I did love Brian Tyree Henry's character, I actually did think his scene went on just a little bit too long for me. I think you could have trimmed it down a little bit. I got the point of what they were trying to do, and it was definitely a very effective scene, but I just thought it went on just a little bit too long. Also, there's a very interesting dynamic that's set up in the beginning of this film, and I really loved it. It's such a great scene, and what they do with it is fantastic, but we never come back to it. It's this one thing that we kind of get into, and I understand there were like a lot of things to focus on, but I just wish we would have gotten one more thing there. Also, the only character, I felt satisfied by basically every character. The only one I didn't feel satisfied by is Colman Domingo, her father. There's a really interesting sort of subplot that's set up between her and him and Fonny's father, and it doesn't get, I think, the proper closure that it really does need. But that's really it in terms of flaws for me. What were your small little gripes with this film?
I personally disagree with a lot of your flaws. First of all, the scene you're referencing at the begining of the film, that scene was amazing. I thought it was extremely intense, extremely riveting. But I think that those characters that we're introduced to, I think that's the only scene they really need to be in. Because I think the point with them is made perfectly clear, and if we were to kind of go back to that, I kind of feel like it'd be just like, we're treading on past ground and stuff, and I don't really think there's any arc there. And if there was any arc, I kind of feel it'd be like, okay, I mean, like, because like they kind of like explained like why we've got to this point already. You know, it's kind of be like weird, just kind of backtrack on it.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And what was the scene you were talking about that you thought went on for too long?
The Brian Tyree Henry scene.
I thought that was the best scene in the movie. So I would disagree with that, obviously. Yeah, honestly, my only real like problems with this, I don't have any major problems. My only like real nitpicks with the film is that I thought that towards the end it just dragged on a bit too much. And that's it, to be honest. You know, and towards the end of the film, I also thought it was a little bit rushed as well. It was kind of weird. It was like it would drag a little bit, then like it's kind of like gets rushed. It's just kind of like the pacing just gets a little bit sloppy at the end. It kind of feels like it was like rushing to a conclusion, and it kind of backtracks. It was weird. Yeah. But I mean, besides that, I mean, like,
yeah, there's really not too much to pick on. This is just a really well done character drama. It's a film that, like I said, it's a character drama first, and the racial issues are there, and they're definitely very well done. And again, they are definitely very timely. But the characters and the acting and just the scope of everything, that's what really sticks out in this film. Barry Jenkins is a mastercraft in terms of storytelling. I cannot wait to see what he's going to do next.
Yep.
I truly do not think this film is getting enough conversation. I don't hear enough people talking about it. Regina King and things like that. But in terms of directing, screenplay, it should be nominated for basically everything. I think this is easily one of the best films I have seen so far this year. I really loved everything about If Beale Street Could Talk overall, minus those few little gripes I have with it. No, it is not as good as Moonlight, but again, asking any film to follow up something like that, it's definitely going to be a bit of a challenge. But like I said, this film definitely came pretty damn close to it. So for me, I am absolutely going to give If Beale Street Could Talk overall in A.
Yes, I love this film. I do like it more than Moonlight. I don't want to compare it much to Moonlight, but this is his follow-up to a Best Picture winner, so you kind of got to.
Yeah.
But you know, I just like this some more, to be honest. I think that it is so well done. It has one of the best screenplays of the year. It just like the feel and mood of everything was just so well done, from the cinematography to the score, and just like the way it was directed, and it was just so good. You know, this really is in like a kind of like a way, like a bit of kind of like a character study, like it's in kind of like a mood picture in a way.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you know, also something didn't bring up the jazz.
Yeah,
like Miles Davis was in this film. That was amazing for me. You know, blue and green. That was great.
It was cool. I guess.
I love that they have blue and green in the background. That was great. But
a character from Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse.
Shut the fuck up. Anyways, yeah, I just love her. I just thought this one was great. You know, besides my little nitpick about the ending, you know, I thought this one was fantastic. It's one of my favorites of the year, to be honest, and yeah, this definitely, absolutely is going to get a 9 out of 10 for me.
All right, so, yeah, we were much more positive about this film. If you guys are like, oh, they were unsatisfied by shoplifters, they're unsatisfied by everything, we love this one, okay? We love this one. It's a great film. You should go out and support it. It's not getting enough attention. It should be getting a much bigger release than it is.
I'm surprised it isn't.
Yeah, no, same, because Moonlight at this point, I know...
That was huge.
I know the film was originally supposed to come out, like, in the beginning of November or whatever, and, like, the end of November, and then, like, have a wider release in December, but I was thinking, like, Christmas Day, like, it'd be, like, basically everywhere, but unfortunately it's not. But you know, overall, definitely check out this film if you haven't. If you can see it, definitely seek it out as soon as possible. But that's really this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, thank you to Auburn Wanderer here. We do have one more review that we are going to be doing, so definitely look forward to that.
Yes.
That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys in our next video, and we will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.